What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. It is the 27th day of June, and here we are sitting at about $60,200 with roughly 11 and a half hours left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it, my friends. Here we are. I don't know if actually this is the right chart that I want to use, BTC USD on Coinbase. I don't know. 226 on Coinbase. Binance, it's 335. So we do have a little bit of a discrepancy. When did that discrepancy happen? I feel like that's recent. I don't know. Maybe it's been like that. Let me go back here. Hold on. Let's see. We go to the 15-minute time frame. Like this. BTC USD. No, it looks. I guess it's just been like that. Okay, so Coinbase has been $100 below Binance. Okay, so if you're using the Binance chart, it's different than the Coinbase chart. I normally use the Binance chart just because there's more volume, but what's $100 between friends? Anyways, daily time frame. Let's start at the 1 hour time frame. Let's go here. 1 hour time frame. I was looking at this, and I'm gonna promote some conflicting ideas here over the course of this video. Okay, there's some ideas here that may or may not work out. Okay, we're looking at the 1 hour time frame, and you can see that the RSI has been building up to a point here, right? We've had this flat top, and you've had higher lows coming into this, and we've broken out. And to me, that's bullish. That seems like a bullish thing. This seems like we would go higher into the overbought zone and thus kind of break out. Whenever you get overbought, that typically marks a breakout point, just as getting oversold. I mean, here we got oversold. That was a breakout point right there. And again over here. What are we going to break out from? Well, we have a flat top here and ascending lows here. We'd break out of this ascending triangle formation if we're in a breakout mode whenever we get into the overbought zone. So that could be later today, Saturday, if not tomorrow sometime, Sunday, early Sunday probably. I would say later than this video, between now and early Sunday, the RSI is looking like it would call for a breakout, and this breakout could take us, I mean, if we use traditional measurement methods, that's the upper level. I don't know, where would this ascending triangle start? Would it start here? I suppose maybe it would start more like this, something like that. We take the low, let's say that this is the low, like right there to the high of the pattern, something like that. I mean, that would take you up to about $62,000. Now, again, this is a measure move on what is a pretty ugly pattern. It's not perfect. It might not even be an ascending triangle, but to me, it has that shape, so that's why we're running with this. It's an idea. 62K is an idea. We could fall short of that idea. We could exceed that idea. We might hit that idea right on the head, but it's just an idea. 62K. My thoughts are, if we go to 62K, that's going to take us right around this area of prior resistance, right around this area of prior support. So around 62K makes sense. It makes sense to me. But hold up now. We look at the MACD. And on the MACD, we've actually broken through. So we had this thing on the 1 hour MACD where we were decaying in bullish momentum. And it looked like we were going to find resistance at the zero. But what did we do? We broke through the zero. We actually started to build bullish momentum. We went away from decaying to building bullish momentum. We've been green for a little while. We can be green for a little while longer. But, you know, that's the clock is ticking. That's for sure. What I mean is, you know, you typically don't stay green forever. At some point you will flip red. But anyways, I digress. All I'm trying to say here is we went from decaying to building. And the oscillators are breaking above the zero, but hold up. We're doing this. This is what I mean by it's conflicting. We've done this. We broke through the zero earlier today, Saturday, and we didn't do anything with it. We haven't done anything with it yet, at least. And that's a little bit of a concern. Whenever you see bullish things happening, I mean, let's just, for example, go back to the last time that we broke above the zero. It was right here. Okay? We broke above the zero here. I guess we didn't do much with it, to be fair, and yet we still climbed overall. Okay, I guess, you know, that can happen. That's cool. Whenever we broke above the zero here, I mean, we saw a nice push right there, and this is more the reaction I'm looking for, is a nice push with that. So I guess with that one example, maybe it's not as dramatic as I was, or as conflicting as I was making it out to be, but still something of a concern. When you see these oscillators coming up above the zero, I expect that we see a breakout in price. We didn't get that. So if that makes me normally think, beforehand that we're bullish. Whenever we don't get that bullish reaction, it makes me a little bit uneasy, I should say. Going to coinglass.com here, if we refresh the last 24 hours of shorts and longs, longs have definitely overtaken shorts. There are a lot of shorts to be taken out still. 7-day time frame here, there are much more shorts than longs over the last week, and the 30-day time frame, of course, there's a lot more shorts than longs, but longs are steadily building. The longer that we stay in this area, this kind of lower consolidation phase, the longer we have time for people to put on longs, which is more time to accumulate easily liquidated positions if people are using heavy leverage, where we might drop down again here, maybe we form another higher low, or perhaps we do just break down and we actually see lower lows. Any of that's possible. The more fuel that we add to the fire, and we are, hour by hour adding fuel to that fire, the longer that we hang out here, more and more people might get brave to take long positions, risky positions, and again, that just adds risk, in my opinion, to the downside. Maybe there's more people who are adding shorts here as well, but I think all the people who wanted to panic jump into shorts have already done it. And there's a lot of shorts. We are very close to clearing out a large level of shorts, you guys. Let's go to the liquidation heat map real quick, because this also, I think, actually shows a good kind of picture of that 62K area. We'll go to the last 3 days, because we've really only been down here for the past few days or so, right? I mean, the 25th, it's the 27th now, so I think that's fair. We look at this here, and there are, I wonder if there's more. Man, that's interesting. This is different on my phone than it is on the computer. Because on the computer, there wasn't this many longs, and this was from over here, so this isn't new. Interesting. I made a post on X here. Let me show you. I made a post here, and it's still the 3-day Model 1. It doesn't, Binance BTC USDT. And then here it's 3-day Model 1 BTC USDT. Is it because it's perpetual? Would it have to not be? Let's see. I would think it'd have to be perpetual though, right? It's different on the phone app than it is on the desktop. Anyways, there are a lot of longs to get cleared out here at 58K. There absolutely are. But I think there's more shorts. You can see it here in the overall heat map. There's a thorough amount, or a large amount of, there is a large amount of liquidity here to the upside. I'm sorry I can't talk. And this whole level gets cleared out at about 62.7K. So 62K, 62.5K, might make sense that we clear it out. We don't have to clear all of it out, but it might make sense to go up here. We still could go lower though. Again, the idea that the low is in is not validated yet. I do think that breaking above this kind of flat area with some volume coming in, I think that would validate that we were breaking out here, okay? Or that it would more validate that we've actually found a momentary low. I don't think that this is the low of the bear market, right? No more than I thought this was the low of the bear market, no more than I thought this was the low of the bear market. We've got lower to go, guys, and once everybody's on board with that, that will be the time that the low is in. 1 hour time frame looking at this, things do look somewhat bullish here, but we have to make a move now, okay? This is what I was talking about at the beginning of the video whenever I said things were a little bit conflicting. We look bullish here. The stochastics kind of don't, to be honest, but the RSI and the MACD do, as long as we don't give up too much ground right now. If we start to close below like $60,000 on a 4-hour basis, at that point I might think that we take a bearish stance, and perhaps we do actually come down to close below 58K. Maybe we do sweep these lows one last time, sweep right through them, and then we move up. We'd go just below 58K. It'd be a really quick little dip below it, and then we move up. Something like that could happen. Let's look at the 4-hour time frame, see how possible that might be. Well, we are at the 50 level. We could reject. This would be, grounds for a serious move down, a semi-serious move down. The stochastics are, in my opinion, suggesting that we'd go higher still, but we're kind of choppy and sideways, so they might be less reliable. And then the MACD does have higher lows, and we're we're kind of in this point where we might make it. We might break out. We are at a critical moment. So RSI is at a critical moment here with the 50 rejecting like this. I mean, if we can get above the 50, that'd be great. Stochastics are kind of at a critical moment. If we cross here, it would be weird if we crossed down here. It would make more sense to go higher, but you don't want to cross down here. That'd be a sign of weakness. And the MACD, same thing. You've got this bullish momentum building, this bullish divergence that was forming, and you're about to break out of this little zone here. You need to do that. If you don't, if we falter, if we pull back at all, I think that would send us below 58K, which isn't dramatic. I mean, here we are at 60.3K. It's not that dramatic, but still a little weekend dump. A weekend dump might be preferred. If we see a weekend dump, that typically would imply that we see a weak pump. Not like weak as in it's weak, weak as in over the next week, right? The weekend and then the week. A weekend dump, if we dump over the weekend, typically we pull back the other direction the following week. That's all I'm trying to say. The 4 hour is not really helping me. It almost makes me bearish. The 4 hour does. The 1 hour almost makes me bullish, but again, both of them are kind of weird. The daily time frame does have a bullish approach to it. We do have bullish divergence here. It's not that significant a bullish divergence, but still you are bouncing off the oversold zone, which is pretty cool. We do have the little chopsticks down here, right? A double bottom there, tweezer bottom. The last time that we saw this, we actually did move up a little bit. You know, we could move up a little bit here. And if we do move up a little bit here, what would be more powerful about this low than it was about this low is that this would be a more of a fake out. And fake outs typically allow us to see some exceptional growth in a very short amount of time. I mean, it could be 2 weeks from now, guys, that we're back above 70K. It really could be very, very quick. We could see, just as we move down very fast, we could see that same kind of shape happen here. And I would think at that point we probably do find resistance turbulence right at the beginning of this dropping phase here, and maybe just above there where we found prior support, prior resistance here, 70, 75K, somewhere in that area. We look at this here from a high to a low there. And we're not going to take this fake out low. Okay, we're measuring the low of the move. This would be a fake out low. If we go a little bit lower, then I might include that in the Fib analysis. But we look at this here. You did respect that 382 very well. You did respect this 236 pretty well, and the 069 here. So you're even finding a little bit of resistance at the 069 now. So I'm going to leave this on here like this, even though the low is just a little bit lower than that measurement. And that's not because the golden ratio is higher. Yes, if I put this down here, the golden ratio would be lower, but that's not why. I'm not cherry picking. Okay, I'm just being I'm doing this how I do it, which is I don't include fake out lows in my Fibonacci retracement measurements. Okay, if this is an accurate representation of what we're going to see, then the idea here would be that if we found resistance at the 382, the idea that the next target would be the golden ratio, I think, is adequate. That would take us to about 72.8K to 74.6K. Find resistance there. We have some type of W shape. It's a failed W overall, and then we come back down, and inevitably we will break out to the downside. I would expect that in July, Bitcoin is back above $70,000. I do expect that that's going to happen. I don't expect that it's going to be a straight shot up like it was down. I don't expect that, but I think that we will move up there pretty quickly. I mean, we probably see some volatility along the way. And then as we get up there, as it's later July, August, then we'll start to break down. And this should be our finale phase of the bear market, you guys. August, September, maybe we stagnate a little bit, and then it's October, November that we see the finale of the bear market. But we're there. Well, we're almost there. We're very close. It could happen now, but I don't think so. Again, we look at this daily time frame, look at the RSI, and typically, whenever we see these low points in the RSI, right, this low point, that low point, that low point, here, that was a relative low at which we started to consolidate, okay? We actually formed higher lows. Here, this one, that was a relative low at which we started to consolidate, and we formed higher lows. Here, we're forming lower lows, but I mean, if we move up here, imagine that we do something like this, guys. This low would be the low, even though we form lower lows, would be the low that we started to consolidate. And this was something that we addressed from these highs, from this level, from these prices early on, is that just because we're in a low area with the RSI, a low area with the price, and we're accepting that we're going to consolidate, doesn't mean we can't see lower lows. We can see lower lows and still be in a consolidation zone, which that's what I'm claiming right now. That's what I'm theorizing right now. So um, ultimately, the RSI to me, as it has been this whole bear market so far, it's suggesting that we are at the beginning of a consolidation phase. And if you notice here, at this level that you bounced, you came back down and found support at the oversold zone. You found support at the oversold zone. Do you guys remember what everybody was thinking here? They were thinking that we were going to go lower immediately, just like now. The last time here, we came back and we found support at the oversold zone twice, actually. And this time here, when we did that, everybody was thinking that we were going to go lower. And I mean, I guess we did technically to some degree, but we didn't go below this low, right? A lot of people are thinking we're going to go lower now. They're bearish. I think we're at a point to find support, and we're doing the exact same thing that we did the last two times. So I really do believe, even though, yes, we have a lower low, that's the one difference. I think that we are in this kind of consolidation phase, and it'll probably take us to higher prices. We'll probably see higher prices before it's over, either by the end of July or sometime in August. We should be back above 70K. I think it'll be in July that we're back above 70K. I don't have anything else to say. Thank you all for being here. Hit that like button, subscribe, take care of yourselves. All right. Stochastics actually look really good for a bounce here as well on the daily time frame. And the MACD did just cross red, but we still have 11 hours left in this day. We get a nice bounce here today. That MACD won't cross red. And even if we do close red like this, look, you closed green here, and that was a false cross. He still went down. You closed red here, that was a false cross. He still went up. So a false cross could happen. We're actually at a really good point to bounce in the MACD. Overall, it is a weak MACD, but we're in a bear market, so that's kind of to be expected. I got nothing else for you. Hit that like button. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.